Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Bedroom Club podcast. Thanks for watching again, or listening, or whatever. Now that it's like past the first 5 episodes, I feel very weird constantly being like, I'm so excited to start this journey. It's like, okay, I need to come up with another like intro tagline, but I haven't come up with one yet, so let's just get into like little life update stuff really quick. I decided literally yesterday, like I need to lock in pretty much every aspect of my life. I need to lock in on health and wellness slash working out. I need to lock in on the job I have now and also finding a new job. I need to lock in on my singing because I had a traumatizing experience leading a worship song this past Sunday. Horrific, actually. Need to lock in on reading. Need to lock in on everything. Need to lock in on my other hobbies. Honestly, need to lock in on this podcast. Like, everything just, like, needs to be, like, I need to be locked in. So I feel like a brand new girl. Today's Monday. So I'm recording this 3 days ahead of time, which, like, these days I've been recording Wednesdays. I think one or two episodes ago, I recorded on a Thursday when the episodes come out on Friday, so I have not been locked, but trust and believe, I'm back to being locked in. If one of y'all wants to hold me accountable to being locked in all these aspects of my life, let me know. That's my life update, is that I'm turning into a new girl. I want to be like, I'm becoming like clean girl aesthetic, but honestly, I'm just becoming like a normal human being who takes care of themselves because I lost sight of her for a little bit. I spent some time on my iPad because what else is an iPad for if not for planning and trying to rebrand yourself? I found a planner and I set up a weekly schedule. Honestly, I didn't do it for the whole week, but I did do it for like Monday through Friday. Basically, this daily schedule consists of 7 a.m. wake up, 7:30-ish to 8:30-ish Bible and prayer time, 9-ish to 10-ish gym time, 12-ish to 6-ish work time. Because I work from home, so I have like a flexible work day. For the most part, 7-ish to 9-ish hobby, and 10-ish to 11-ish reading. And then go to bed at 11 and wake up and do it again. That's the plan. So there's a lot of like gaps in the day, I guess, for unexpected things, for things that are not daily but like have to get done, like if I gotta clean or go grocery shopping or I don't know, something like that. There's some gaps in there, but that's the general plan. I'm also trying to be flexible with work because I do have like a flexible work day, so I'm trying to keep it in that like 12 to 6-ish window. But there are some days where I work at night, so in that case, then I move my nightly hobby and reading time to the morning and then work at night. So, it's not like going to be necessarily the exact same every single day, but same general structure, I would say. The hobbies that I'm trying to lock in on are the podcast. So, like, one day recording the podcast is the hobby, another day editing it is the hobby. There's a day for singing, there's a day for piano because I literally have a keyboard over there. Haven't played her in months, haven't even turned it on in months. So we're gonna try to actually learn how to play. And then writing is another day. I'm gonna try to be more in touch with myself or in touch with the world around me, or like, I don't know what, but something like I'm just like letting myself float along in life and like not actually improving myself or improving the world around me, I guess. And that ends now. That's my life. I broke my 2 emotional support necklaces, so that's great. Broken in a way that like I'm gonna have to go to a place that fixes jewelry in order to fix it, which sucks. If you see me going like this in the middle of the episode, like that is most certainly why. What else is going on? I'm low-key blind as I record this because my glasses and like the lighting situation, it was way too much glare. But like I do not feel like putting my contacts in at all. I've worn them enough today, and I feel like there are just some days where it's like no, no more, no more. Like no more with the contacts. Honestly, you're actually not supposed to wear contacts for, I think there's like a certain time. I don't know if it's 8 hours or 6 hours or something, but there's like a time limit that you're supposed to be wearing your contacts. And I know I be outdoing that time for sure. If you catch me squinting, I'm gonna do my best not to, but if you catch me squinting at the camera, that's why. Oh, something else I did want to address is that there was no episode last week. I literally recorded an entire episode, and I recorded one episode, and then I had to pause the recording. And when I went back, it re-recorded over the first part, basically. I lost, like, obviously 30 minutes of footage, and I didn't realize it. So, like, the episode wouldn't have made any sense from where I did have footage. And I didn't realize that until like Thursday night when I went to edit. So there's no time to re-record, and we had to skip out. It gave me a little break, I guess. Gave you guys a break from hearing my, I don't know, my agitating, grating voice, as Abby Lee Miller says. I don't know. I think that's all the like life updates exposition that I would need to do. Also, I am a little bit like insecure of not wearing my glasses or like not being able to see, because I'm like, what if my hair's messed up or what if my shirt's messed up? Are you guys gonna tell me? Can you guys tell me if my hair looks bad? Oh, another update. My birthday is this Sunday, which is so exciting. So when this episode comes out, 2 days from when this episode comes out, whatever. My birthday is this Sunday, the 17th. I was about to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. But I'm turning 23, which is a little bit scary. Actually, really pretty scary, I must admit. I think just because it's like, I don't know. Like, no. It's already scary to not be like teen anymore, you know? Like when I was 19, I was like, hey. And then when I was 20, I was like, okay, but I was just 19. So, like, yes, I'm not a teen anymore, but I low-key just left the teens. And then when I was 21, I was like, hey, we're 21. Like, this is when people start to really think you're an adult and stuff. And then I was 22, and I'm like, okay, 22, like, it's calm. But now 23 is starting to feel not calm. It's like, am I getting old? 23, it's fine. Everything's gonna be fine. That's what I'm choosing to tell myself. And of course, I'm grateful for another year, grateful to God for another year. So we're happy to have hit 23. Irregardless, I'm super excited to be turning 23. I don't have any plans for this weekend at the moment. Might try to have like a birthday dinner of sorts, but something about me is that I put things like that together very last minute. I'm not sure what it is. There's probably some psychology behind it. I do think a small part of me is like, oh, okay, if everybody says that they can't go, then if I at least did it last minute, it's like, okay, they can't go because it was super last minute, and not they can't go because they hate me. Next weekend, I'm going to the beach. I'm going to Ocean City. I don't remember. No, I don't think I talked about it in the last episode, but I'm going to Ocean City, staying at my friend's boss's beach house for free, which is such a blessing and super exciting. Now we can actually get into the episode. So today I wanted to talk about just my personal health and wellness journey, I guess, or like my relationship with food, the gym, like stuff like that. Whatever. All of those things I think will be touched on a little bit in this episode. I think especially after the COVID episode, I kind of was thinking about like isolation and like some of the things I was going through in isolation, I guess, and how I feel like that impacted health and wellness for me. I low-key don't even know where to start, but I think I want to start with just like my general upbringing. I feel like growing up, I definitely was a chubby kid. Um, Honestly, I feel like when I was really young, like a toddler, I remember, at least my mom will tell me stories that I was super skinny and that and I do see pictures sometimes and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, skinny check. No, but like before like 5 or 6 maybe, I feel like I was definitely skinny. Um, and my mom will always tell this story that she was like, no, you need to eat way more than this. Like, this is scaring me. Um, and I feel like, I don't know what happened with that, but I think because I was like pushed to eat more, I probably took it too far. Whoa, is this like too deep? This is funny to me, guys. But I think because I was like pressured to eat more, I became chubby for sure. Like, I was definitely like overweight. Like, when I went to the doctor, they would always tell me I was overweight. I look back at pictures and stuff and I'm like, yeah, I was definitely chubby. Which, like, I'm still kind of chubby now, to be honest. Like, honestly, not even kind of. I am chubby. I'm chubby and proud. Growing up, definitely gave chubs. Um, and I feel like that remained my truth until I do remember the summer going into my 7th grade. I like did not eat at all. I just drank a bunch of water. And it's true what they say, guys. I lost a lot of weight. I remember that summer, like, I would walk a lot with my family. I wonder, am I like, is this a fever dream? I don't know. I remember walking with my mom and my sister and not eating and drinking a lot of water. And to be honest, that was not okay. I mean, we loved the drinking lots of water, we loved the walking, but the not eating, obviously. And I don't know. Honestly, I just remember being, again, this is funny now, guys. It's funny now. Let me tell you something. It's funny now. It's funny now, but honestly, I was low key like, I don't know, I feel like I was going through a lot of turmoil, like internally, and I just didn't want to leave my room. Honestly, I didn't want to leave my room. I didn't want to talk to my mom at all. Like, I don't know, we were low-key beefing that summer. So I remember being like, bro, I'm not going outside. Like, I don't even want to eat. Like, no. And so I wouldn't eat. And then I would drink a bunch of water, which would fill me right on up. And then we would walk, which would help me lose the calories. You know what I mean? So then I was skinny in 7th grade and 8th grade. I feel like I was kind of skinny. I don't know. High school's like kind of a blur. I feel like honestly, there was a point in high school where I actually wasn't super aware of my body, if that makes sense. Like, I knew I wasn't thin, but I also didn't feel like I was big. So I don't know, I was just existing, I guess. Like, I wasn't too bothered about it for the most part. Every once in a while, like, when you like have a pool party with your friends and it's like, cool. Oh, okay. We are different, actually. But for the most part, like, it was fine. Honestly, I low-key ate like crap in high school. Especially, and me and my friends will joke about this to this day, but like the way that we were eating in senior year in particular, mm-mm. No, like, it was really, really bad. Honestly, we were eating out every single day. Like, Chick-fil-A, Cafe Rio, McDonald's, like every day. It was like, ooh, what drive-through are we pulling up to during lunch or after school? No, queen. I don't think there will ever come a day where I will be OMG so skinny. It's just not, it isn't in my blood. And that's okay with me. Like, I just want to be healthy, and yes, like, losing weight is one of my goals, and I guess we'll probably talk about that at some point. But I I look around at my family, queen. It never gave like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be so skinny. Okay, so boom. Set the scene for you. Growing up, I had definitely chubby moments. I was never really skinny past the age like 5 or 6, I would guess. Past like 7th grade. Before that, oh, was I aware of my body for sure. Like I said, every time I went to the doctor, you're overweight, you're overweight, you're overweight. Fast forward to COVID, isolation, and I don't think that this is honestly even like, I don't even think that this is a unique thing, but during isolation, I feel like a lot of people, honestly, a lot of women became increasingly aware of their body and of their physical activity and health. And I think that those are all things that are super important. So I'm not like saying that I wish I never paid attention to those things, but like, I don't know. I think there's something about isolation. You have so much access to other people that I didn't have, which sounds counterintuitive, honestly, because it's like during isolation, you low key have, like, you have physical access to less people, but the amount of time that I was spending on my phone and on social media increased my access to others immensely versus like when I was in school. Like, I wake up, I go to school from 7:45 to 2:30. I have rehearsal until 4:30. I come home, I probably go to work from 7 to like 11, and then I have to go to bed. Like, I don't have as much time to be on my phone and like, oh my gosh, what does this person look like? What does that person look like? Even at school, like, I was not immune to comparing myself by any means. I compared myself enough, but it just wasn't like constant versus like, obviously during isolation, I, like the rest of you, became addicted to my iPhone, and on your iPhone is TikTok, and on TikTok are amazing, beautiful, wonderful people who are not you. And if you are not secure with yourself, which I definitely wasn't back then, and honestly still working towards that now, but if I if you're like me, like, that was not good for me. And I think during isolation, being on my phone, like, I most certainly was comparing myself in like a crazy, crazy way. I think also the like at home workouts scene definitely impacted my health and wellness journey, I would say. Miss Chloe Ting, like, I was right there with her, Miss Chloe Ting. And to be honest, I don't know if I've ever really sweat from her workout as I have with Miss Chloe Ting. Like, low key, let's bring her back. I know it was like kind of toxic. Let's bring her back because she kind of did me right. Saying all that to say that I think isolation kind of redirected my body image. Like, I started being a lot more aware of my body in a way that I hadn't been in a very long time. So I think that that was like a canon event, as they say. I think another big thing that impacted my health and wellness journey in my life thus far, at least, um, was I went to the doctor, and I don't remember. See, and this is like getting blurred in my head. I don't remember if I went to the doctor and then they sent me to get blood work done, or like, I don't remember why I found this out, but I got a test result that said that I had I had a high uh number of lipids in my bloodstream, and lipids are fats. And so basically, I was told that my blood was like not horribly fatty, but say hi, fatty. Hi, fatty. Not horribly fatty, but like enough that obviously they felt the need to say something. So I was like, okay, that's actually so scary. Now you're actually giving big ums. And so also, I feel like I need to preface by saying, like, if I say anything like big ums, biggie, big facts, like, it's about myself, of course. And I feel like I have the right to say it because I am chubby. I guess I just don't want it to come across like I'm trying to be fat phobic or anything. I think, if anything, we need to all be practicing body neutrality because it's like, I don't know, if you're taking care of yourself, then I'm happy for you, no matter what your body looks like, as long as you're treating it right. So I don't want it to sound like I'm being fat phobic. And again, I'm not skinny, so these are just comments that I'm directing at myself. But anyway, now that we got that out of the way, when I got that test result, I was like, okay, you're giving biggie, you're giving big ums, you're giving big fact, something needs to change. I think that there were a lot of decisions that I could have made, and I made like the most extreme decision that I could have, because obviously I was consuming too many fats at that time, basically, is what I was told. I could have cut out cheese or sour creams, things like that. Any unhealthy fats, bad like fast food. I could have cut out fast food. What did I do? I cut out meat. And yes, meat is fatty, especially red meat in particular. If anything, I could have cut out red meat, period. Did I do that? No, I cut out all meat, chicken included. I feel like I call myself vegetarian, but really it was more so pescatarian. I wouldn't say that I ate fish often, but if fish was an option, maybe I'd go for it. Or if someone cooked me fish, then I of course ate it. But I stopped eating meat. I guess now it's probably been about a year or a year and a half of me eating meat again. But like I was vegetarian for 2, 3 years. I feel like that was definitely a major canon event. Is me literally fully cutting out meat out of my diet. Um, Again, and I will say it did help. Like when I cut out meat and I got retested for my lipids, I just remembered why I got, or like how I got that test result. And I'm pretty sure it's because I went to the doctor and she was like, "You are low key overweight." And then she recommended me to see a nutritionist. And then I got blood tested there. Shout out to my nutritionist, who I also feel like was a canon event in my health and wellness journey. And I haven't been to the nutritionist in like 3 years at this point, but I did go see a nutritionist a couple times when I first went vegetarian. Shout out her. She was super nice, and I feel like she gave me good food advice in a super healthy and non-toxic way. Honestly, I've noticed that with the nutritionists in general, like a lot of the rules that we come up for ourselves, and obviously everybody's different. I do feel like a lot of the rules that we come up with for ourselves and for our diets, a lot of nutritionists, like at least the ones that I see on social media, they literally don't support half of it. Like when we're like, oh my gosh, you can't eat any carbs. Most nutritionists that I've seen on TikTok, they're like, you can eat carbs. Like a lot of things that we label good foods and bad foods, they don't do that. So shout out all nutritionists, honestly, but my nutritionist in particular, I loved her. I think she was great. I feel like she gave me really good food advice. Some things that have stuck with me, not in my behavior, because I don't think I've like actually implemented these things into my routine, but I do think in my mind, I remember what she said for sure. Like something that she said that I thought was really helpful. Well, one, I just think she did a good job of reminding me of like what your plate should look like what food group should be on your plate, and reminding me that a colorful plate is always a good sign. I feel like now still I'll look at my plate and be like, everything on here is low key green. Like I should, you know, how can I add more color next time or whatever. So I think that that's nice. But a really good rule of thumb that she gave me that, again, not saying I even follow this, I'm just saying I should because I think it's good advice. I think I spoke with her about my portion control or lack thereof because I just feel like I grew up like you eat what you're served and you eat what's on your plate. So I feel like my fullness cues are super skewed. Honestly, they're low-key non-existent. I feel like I'm just now building up my fullness cues to be like, oh, okay, I'm full. I don't need to finish the rest. For like majority of my life, like I eat everything that's on my plate. Her advice for that was like, let's say you're out at a party and you have a plate, you fill up your plate, everything's good, your plate's beautiful, and you eat all your food and you're like, oh, I want seconds. Her number one rule was give it 5, 10, 15 minutes. See if you're actually hungry again, because sometimes you just want to go for a second plate because the food was good. And it's like, the food was good and it was also enough. So if it was enough, you'll know after 5, 10, 15 minutes. And if you are truly still hungry after that like amount of time, she said get a second helping of fruits and veggies instead of the heavier foods like the mac and cheese or the mashed potatoes or the chicken. Like make smarter choices. And I thought that was a really good tip. Do I do that? No. But I do think it's a good tip. Okay, so boom. Canon event. I went vegetarian because I had fatty blood and I was like, meat has a lot of fat. Even though that was not necessary, nor was it doctor recommended. Like I just made that choice on my own. Mind you, it did work. I was given the high lipids result. I went vegetarian and the next time I got tested, they were significantly lower. So it did work. It's just like I made that choice of my own volition, not because any actual professional told me to do it. I loved being vegetarian. It's kind of hard, but I enjoyed it. And honestly, I would genuinely do it again. I will say the thing that broke my vegetarianism, which is like so embarrassing. When I was vegetarian, I always said the only thing that could break me is Wingstop. Like, people would always be like, what would it take for you to eat meat again? Like, how come you're not eating meat? Like, do you ever miss it? Yada, yada, yada. And I would always be like, honestly, I'm good. Like, I don't miss that much, but Wingstop would break me. I always said that. And one day I just couldn't, I, I could not rid my mind of the thought. Like, I think it's also was like partly at the time when people kept doing Wingstop mukbangs, which they still do, but I don't know. I just like I couldn't stop thinking about Wingstop. I couldn't stop thinking about my order, my 8-piece bone-in wing, half medium hot sauce and half garlic parmesan with ranch and fries and a root beer with no ice, by the way. Like, I couldn't stop thinking about it. So one day, one fateful January day, I pulled up to the Wingstop. There's actually a video on my TikTok of me having my first bite of chicken after X amount of years. Wingstop did break me off. What's like another canon event? Then I feel like once isolation ended, I was like, I think I should go to the gym. Like, I think I should be going to the gym low key. And so I got a Planet Fitness subscription and I started going to the gym. And I kept it really like low key for a while. I feel like honestly for the first couple weeks I mostly just walked on the treadmill because I was so scared to do other stuff. But then I started, using dumbbells. I also think Planet Fitness is a really good beginner's gym, to be honest, because it's super machine heavy. Like, they have a bunch of treadmills, a bunch of stairmasters. They have lots of like other machines, and I do think that that is nice for someone who's just starting off because you can just like go on the treadmill or go on the stairmaster and at least you move your body a little bit. I did want to mention as well that growing up, I mean, if it wasn't already clear, I did not grow up doing any sort of physical activity really. I would say the extent of my physical activity was dance. And even then, it was like not anything serious. Like, I am not a dancer, but I have taken dance classes, like one or two. I used to do Zumba sometimes in the mall, and like first of all, I was doing Zumba. Yeah. I did a lot of just dance and like I did theater, so sometimes we would dance. Sometimes they'd have us run, but like that was the extent of my physical activity growing up. I never did a team sport or anything of the sort. I think that's also an important backdrop to put up just because like I'm not someone who like worked out ever growing up. When I did start going to the gym, I think it's probably a little bit scary anyway, but I think especially for me as someone who like those things are so foreign to me, going to the gym, lifting weights, like I did not do that. Like I was walking the mile in middle school. Hear me. You buy a Planet Fitness subscription. The first summer of me going to the gym, I low-key was really locked in. Like I would even go on weekends. Like if I missed on a Monday or something, I would go on a Sunday after church or before church. I would never do that now. Like if I missed on a Monday, bye. I'll see you next week. And I fear the results did show, but I also think that's like a thing when you first, like when you're a baby gym person. I think that's a thing. I forget what it's called, like beginners pump or something. Beginners, I don't know. There's something, like some gym phenomenon where it's like because you never work out, your muscles appear very quickly, but like maintaining after that initial like muscle growth or strength growth, whatever, you won't see as much drastic like change. I honestly think that that's part of the reason why I have trouble being consistent in the gym is because I feel like I'm not seeing results, even though they're probably happening, but I'm just like, oh, it's been one day and I'm not skinny yet. Like, what? I was at Planet Fitness for some months and then I ended up going to One Life. Is it okay to say that gym? There's a lot of One Lifes. Like, it doesn't give away my location. Not that anyone is even checking for it, but some of my friends go there, and I think I remember going on their guest pass one day, and I feel like I had actually the best leg workout of my life. Like, I truly felt worked in a way that I guess at Planet Fitness I didn't. I also feel like it's just a nicer gym. Like, Planet Fitness is a really good beginner gym, but there's not a lot of like space. Like, One Life has like turf and stuff. I do think One Life, and specifically, I want to say like what location, but I feel like I shouldn't be doing that on the internet just in case. But the One Life in my hometown, y'all need 30 times more Stairmasters. I'm sorry. I think there's 3 Stairmasters in the gym. Mind you, this gym is very well attended, I would say. I mean, I've seen everyone from my high school there, so I can't help but assume that it's well attended. There's 3 Stairmasters, and there's always men on them. Why would a man be there? I'm joking, I'm joking. I want to get on the Stairmaster real quick, and it makes me not want to get on her. It also makes me less consistent. And the Stairmaster is hard. Like, that's something you gotta keep at. And I can't keep at it if every time I, like, go to the Stairmaster, all 3 are taken by men. Oh, I said Planet Fitness subscription earlier. I really meant to say membership. Sorry about that. But I got a One Life membership, and yeah, I've been going there ever since. I think it's probably been like a year and a half, I would say, of me going to One Life. I really like it there. That kind of leads me to my closing thoughts regarding health and wellness and body image and all that stuff, which is when they say comparison is the thief of joy, like, Clark it, for me especially, that's always been something I've struggled with growing up, is comparing myself to other people, like specifically to other women, of course, which I don't think is like abnormal. I think you're likely to compare yourself to someone that you're close to, if that makes sense. Like, obviously, when I'm comparing like how I look to someone else, I compare it to another black girl that's my age. I don't compare it to myself to a white woman, because like at the end of the day, I'm never gonna be you, versus like a black girl, I'm like, oh, I could be you if I locked in. I compare myself a lot. I think that's something I've always struggled with a little bit. Um, and I think especially now that I've been trying to go to the gym more often, it's really easy for me to try to compare myself. When I go to the gym, like, I wish that I could just have peace. I wish I could have peace. But low-key, I don't have peace because I'm just comparing myself to the other women in the gym and how, like, great their bodies are and how strong they look and how skinny they are. Like, what? Now when I go to the gym, I'm literally, like, fighting a battle in my mind. And it's funny, guys. It's not like... Because I'm realizing the way I'm describing it sounds concerning. And it is a little bit concerning. And I know this. Like, I'm very aware. So I try to actively, like, fix my thoughts elsewhere when I'm in the gym. But I have noticed a lot of times, like, I'll see a girl walk by and, like, she has that, like, divot in her legs, which, you know, shows me that, like, yes, her leg is giving nice, muscly, strong quad, strong hamstrings. Sorry, I forgot what it's called. I will see that girl in the gym and I'm like, will I ever get there? Instead of being like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so excited for my legs to look strong like that, I'm like, oh my gosh, my legs will never look strong like that. And that obviously discourages me from wanting to go to the gym, because I'm like, why am I even here if I'm not going to see the change? But I also think I haven't really given myself like a true 100% effort to reach my like physical goals, I guess. Choosing to change this, mind you. But I think I don't always try 100%, because something in my brain is like, it's embarrassing to try 100% at something and fail. So I'd rather like half try, and then if I fail, I can be like, okay, well, I wasn't even trying for a referral, you know? And I feel like, again, I'm not saying it's good, it's actually really bad. Like, as I'm describing it, I'm like, that's a choice. That's definitely a choice. It's just my truth, guys. I'm not a perfect person. Because I'm able to actively call it out. I'm like, this can change. Like, this is something that can change if I choose for it to change. Saying all that to say, I feel like there was definitely a few months where I was not going to the gym consistently at all. Like, if a friend wanted to go, then I would go for sure. And there would be like a week here and there I'd be like, yes, went to the gym 4 or 5 times this week. And then that lasts for like 2 weeks, and I'm like, yeah, bye. I'm actually not doing this. I think another thing that I struggle with is I do things out of convenience instead of consistency and discipline and commitment. I think the gym is a perfect example of that. I think that the time that I was the most consistent with the gym is when I was dropping my sister off at school in the mornings and I had to pass the gym to go home anyway. I would always be like, you know what? I have to be awake. I'm gonna pass the gym. Might as well go. I was the most consistent in the gym at that time than I think I literally ever have been ever before. It was also nice because I was going to the gym with my friends at that time. So me and my two besties, we'd always be in the gym. And I feel like also having that like accountability partner to be like, okay, these people are actually waiting on me to go, like, let's lock in. Um, made me go more as well. The minute that like I didn't have to get up to take my sister to school, I'm like, it's not really convenient anymore. That's also such a stretch because it's still convenient. Like, I have a car, it's 15 minutes away. It's still convenient no matter which way you spin it, but it was the perfect amount of convenient for me. So I was like, bruh, I'm not awake. Like, I'm not already driving over there. Like, I have to actually make the effort to go there specifically. And I didn't want to do that. So then I kind of didn't go. I started having a 9 to 5 schedule for about 2 months. And I think I was also super consistent then because it became convenient again. Like, I have to work 9 to 5 every single day. I guess I didn't do Monday through Friday, but I did usually like Monday through Wednesday and then Friday, Saturday, 9 to 5. I have to be awake. My schedule's the same every day. I might as well add in another thing to like make my schedule consistent. So I'd literally get up at 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m., go to the gym, read my Bible, shower, prep my meals for the day. Like, I'd eat breakfast and I'd have my lunch packed for work. And then I'd go to work 9 to 5. Me now dreams of such discipline and commitment. And it wasn't discipline and commitment, it was just convenience. Like, actually, let me give myself a little pat on the back. I do think if I wanted to, I could have just been like, yeah, no, I'm gonna sleep until 8 every day until I have to get up for work. Um, but I didn't. I did choose to get up at 5 a.m. I didn't have to. So I guess I was disciplined in that sense. But I think because of the regularity of my work schedule, it was convenient in a way versus now. I wouldn't say my work schedule is as consistent, but it kind of is, but it kind of isn't. I don't know. It's been all over the place since working 9 to 5, basically. I went from working 9 to 5 for 2 months to like basically working four to close 5 times a week for several months. And then now I have a flexible work day, but I still close sometimes. And it's just like lots of change. With all of those changes, like, it became difficult for me to easily fit the gym into my routine. And the moment it wasn't easy anymore, that was the first thing I dropped. Right now, something I'm trying to do in my life, not just with the gym, but also with just everything, like with spending time, talking to God and reading my Bible, or cooking for myself, or reading, like literally anything. I think I need to learn how to make things non negotiables instead of like, oh, if slash when I have time with my health and wellness journey, I guess, and physical activity. Like, I want to see the change. It's just a matter of putting in the work. And I feel like for a while, I just didn't really care to put in the work, which is, again, I'm not even proud to say it. It's kind of embarrassing, but it's the truth, guys. But again, like I said, I have an iPad now, so like I'm super organized and like put together and stuff. So I'm locking in. Today, I feel like I had a really good day. I did everything on my checklist that I like wanted to do. I got up early. I went to the gym. I read my Bible. I went to work. I am recording the podcast. That was on my list to do. I read. I actually literally got my nails done today amidst all these things. And getting my nails done was not on my list, I must admit, but I was there. And they're usually super quick. They were pretty quick today. So I was like, let me just go get my nails done really quickly because they were starting to look insane and they were falling off. But even with that impromptu nail appointment, I still got everything I wanted to get done today done. Maybe not every day will look like that, but I can have some regularity in my routine. I think I convinced myself, like, oh, my schedule's just all over the place. Like, my work schedule is so all over the place. Like, I can't try, actually, just try. And I think I'm ready to try. I'm excited to, get back to being locked in and see if that improves my life because, I mean, my life is great, but I'm just saying, like, I think I could improve myself more, be a better, healthier person physically and mentally, literally just by that small act of like making myself have a routine and incorporating the gym and cleaner eating. Cause like, bro, that's a whole nother topic maybe, but definitely gotta eat better because I low-key be eating out a lot recently. I'm excited to be consistent, to be disciplined, to be motivated to do those things, like to actually be intentional with myself, with the life that I've been given. And I'm excited to see where it goes. So I'll be sure to keep you guys in the loop. But I think that kind of wraps it up for the health and wellness episode, if you will. We can go ahead and start wrapping up today's episode. Of course, we got to do our rant topic. So today's rant is AI. And I'm a pretty anti-AI person, I will say. I think I've always been that way, to be honest. Obviously, AI is a new thing, so I'm not trying to be like, I've been anti-AI since I was born. But even like other technologies that were starting to emerge, especially while I was in school, I just never took to them, like Grammarly, even though I know that that's like a tool that's totally acceptable. I feel like I just never, like, it always felt like I was breaking the rules by using Grammarly. This is coming from the perspective of someone who's very, I guess, old fashioned slash rule follower when it comes to school and technology. I have three main reasons I feel like why I'm anti AI. One aspect in which I'm anti AI is education. I feel like I graduated a class that like kind of just missed the wave of like ChatGPT. When I say AI, I feel like a lot of it will point back to ChatGPT, but actually want to talk about how ChatGPT is really not the main contributor to a lot of what I'm going to bring up. I think it's AI in general, but not necessarily ChatGPT. So I'm going to talk a lot about ChatGPT, I would say. When I get into the counter arguments, like there's actually some reason to not hate on ChatGPT specifically. Like there are other things that are way worse. So whatever. We'll get into that. But mostly talking about, I guess, ChatGPT because I feel like that's the most popular thing. Number one, I feel like ChatGPT is really ruining the education system. Again, I feel like I graduated a class that kind of just missed the wave. Like it was starting to be a thing my senior year, but it wasn't like super widespread. I didn't feel like every assignment people did, they were using ChatGPT to do it. Um, but I think it's crazy. Like I've been reading a lot of articles recently about how students literally are like, yeah, I just ask chat. Like I get an essay prompt, I ask ChatGPT, it gives me a response, and I turn that in. And like that's how you're learning, you're copy and pasting. I think that's insane. I think especially once you choose to pursue education past high school, like, why would you be paying thousands of dollars in tuition to make a computer do your work for you? I think that's insane. We're low-key losing recipes because I was handwriting my essays in high school, and like I'm scared to say that because I don't know if someone's gonna try to call me old, but like A Push, AP Lang, like we were handwriting our AP exam essays year after year. I was fine. I lived. I learned. Y'all are typing everything, and you're not even thinking of what to type, you're just copy and pasting stuff. No, not a fan of that. I think it's dumb. And I think it's making society dumber because they don't know how to think about an essay prompt and like answer it fully, answer all parts of the question. Like students just are leaving school not having actually learned anything. And I think that that's really disappointing. I think it's stupid, first of all. Sorry not to call students stupid. I was once a student as well. But I think it's really dumb. Like, just don't go to school at that point. Save your money. Don't go to school. Like, why are you choosing to go to school? Maybe you're living on campus. So you're spending even more money to do what? Hang out with your friends? Go to darties? Go to bars? And not to actually learn? I feel like the way I'm saying this makes it sound like I'm like, school is so important. I don't think school is for everybody, but if you're gonna make the choice to go to school, actually go to school. Like, actually open up your brain, open up your mind, and learn something for your future. Don't like waste your time and your money, maybe your parents' money, to let a computer do your work for you. I think that's stupid. That's number one. Number two, in regards to the education system, I think it's really short sighted and irresponsible for students to rely so heavily on ChatGPT for their work. At the end of the day, when you're in high school, like we're all kind of getting the same education. And when you're in college, like you are studying something that you're studying it with the assumption that it's going to propel you into like a career. Like your job is going to directly, and again, obviously this doesn't always happen, but a lot of times you study what you think you're going to want to do for work, like when you're an adult, like a true adult, no longer in college. So the way that these AI chatbots work, like they don't learn from themselves. They learn from us, humans. Every time you like start a conversation with it and you ask it a question and you clarify your question and you teach it more and more stuff and you give it more and more practice and whatever, like you're just teaching it how to take you over. No, like you're just like you're becoming obsolete and unneeded because you're teaching a computer how to think like you and how to be you and how to answer questions like you would. You're humanizing this chatbot so that they can take your job that you're paying to go to school for, to prepare for. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. I think the education system in general does breed that sort of environment where it's appealing for people to use ChatGPT because they're so overwhelmed with their workload and with other things like extracurriculars and internships and stuff like that. I get it, but I'm just saying it doesn't make sense to pay thousands of dollars a semester to not even actually get your education. And not only are you not even truly getting your education, but you're teaching a computer how to take your job. And I think that that's crazy. I will say I actually had a conversation with a friend a few days ago, like 2 days ago, and we were talking about AI, and she did mention that like AI could help people learn and could be used as a helpful resource if you use it properly. And she's not wrong. I think I just approached school differently always. Like I was very much like anytime I could use a pencil and paper, I would. I didn't rely on Grammarly to like help me with stuff, if that makes sense. I didn't use ChatGPT for anything. Like I truly did do all my work myself. That's also not to say like I got help from people. Like my classmates would like look over my stuff. So I wasn't like some perfect student. I'm just saying when it comes to technology, I didn't really use it unless needed in my schoolwork, I wouldn't say. Um, but she mentioned like a student who needs help outlining a paper or like fixing grammatical errors can plug their work into ChatGPT and be like, can you help me fix this? And can you explain why you changed, like why you moved this comma from here to here, for example? And I felt like that was a really good point, honestly. I think for me, my hesitation, I don't know how many students are actually asking ChatGPT, like, can you fix my essay and tell me why you fixed it? Like, or tell me what you fixed. Because my whole thing was like, if you are writing an essay and you make grammatical errors, like, how is plugging it into ChatGPT teaching you anything? Like, I think you learn something when you get your grade back and your teacher's like, yeah, your grammar was horrible, fix it. And then you, like, go learn from some other resource, open up a book or you watch a YouTube video, I don't know. But you go learn how to fix it, which was like my perspective on it, I guess. Same thing, like when you write an outline, like I really took pride in making an essay outline and turning that essay outline into an actual essay. And I enjoyed doing stuff like that from my own brain and not from another source. But I actually 100% see why, like, using something like ChatGPT to help you with those things and help you explain it. Like, it's just can, at that point, it becomes another teaching tool. Um, do I think students are using it that way? No. And I guess for that reason, I'm like, just don't use it at all. I definitely see in that aspect how it could be good. But while we're on the topic of education, I definitely think AI, and I wish I had more specific, like, examples because I see it sometimes, but like I can't think of anything off the top of my head. But I think AI has done a lot of good for like research, for testing out like different medicines, different cures, stuff like that, like in the medical field. And I think that that's amazing. And I think that's a really good example of what AI could and should be used for. Things like medical research, health, stuff like that. And again, I wish I had more specific examples because I feel like I'm giving nothing to explain why I think that that's good. But just know, if you look it up, I'm sure you can find examples of like things that AI helped to create or to research or whatever that, like, I'm like, period. That was a good use of AI. But I think in education, like for students who are learning, I think it's doing more harm than good. I also think when it comes to the environment, I'm like immediately no. Um ChatGPT, honestly, AI in general uses like takes up a lot of energy to produce responses to ChatGPT and stuff like that. ChatGPT does not like power itself, you know what I mean? It is centers all around the US at least that power ChatGPT, and the generators that are used to power those kind of like generative AI, they overheat and they use a bunch of water to cool it down. So it's a waste of water. But also, and I think this is my qualm with it, I would say. Not only does he use a bunch of water, but they are really strategic about where these like energy centers are placed. And a lot of times they're placed in areas with high black and brown populations and they create a ton of air pollution. And I think that is so frustrating to me and it's really heartbreaking. And honestly, that could be another episode topic in and of itself is like environmental racism because it goes deep. Everything's about race. Everything's about race. I don't want everything to be about race, but a lot of times it really is. That's a really prime example of environmental racism. Like, it's not even impacting you, so maybe you don't realize it, but like, they're sticking this data center to power ChatGPT in a small town in the South where there's a bunch of black and brown people who now are, you know, suffering with asthma at way higher rates than they were before because of the air pollution. Like, I don't really feel comfortable contributing to that, even if my contribution is so minuscule. Like, everybody has that mindset, which is why the impacts becomes greater. Like, everybody's just like, oh, like, I just use ChatGPT sometimes, like, it doesn't really matter. Everybody thinks that way. And then the demand for it is high, which means more data centers are, or more energy centers, whatever they're called, I really don't know. But whatever. Production meets demand. That is a economic principle, and we are creating a demand for ChatGPT. ChatGPT, other AI, whatever's, are going to meet that demand, and the impact might not be felt in your community, but it's in someone else's, and I hate that for us. But even then, I think like the environmental impact of ChatGPT, at least when you compare it to other forms of generative AI, is actually like low-key a negligible amount. I have another friend who we are kind of opposite on this AI debate. Like she be using ChatGPT and I'm always like, girl, put it down. Oh, put it down. Um, but she did send me an article that I was like, oh, that really opened my eyes, because the like water usage or the energy usage, whatever, of ChatGPT relative to other forms of generative AI is actually pretty negligible. And I didn't know that. I feel like there's so much like spotlight on ChatGPT right now that it just feels like, oh my gosh, ChatGPT is ruining everything. Which, like, again, I don't think it's good. I don't think it's great. I don't support it, but it's not the main source of our problems, I guess. The article that she sent me cited like an example of something that's AI that is actually way worse is like Netflix. And Netflix, when they recommend you something, they create that little like uh 97% match for you. We think you'd like this. Like, all that stuff is also AI and takes up way more energy than ChatGPT does. And I love it. Like, I love when Netflix recommends me something. And so, again, one, saying that to say, like, I'm not trying to be holier than thou. Like, while I think ChatGPT is stupid, I guess there are other ways that I enjoy AI. But if I gotta put down the Netflix recommendations so that some grandma in a southern town can breathe, like, I'm okay with that. Netflix, you don't gotta recommend me anything. Like, we're good. I'll figure it out on my own. So, I don't know. It's definitely interesting, though. I think I can admit that, like, there are probably a lot of choices in my life that I make that have a really, like, majorly negative impact on the environment that I still continue with. So, I can't act too holier than thou, you know what I mean? I can't judge too much. I still hate AI, but like I drink oat milk. Oat milk uses a ton of water. I eat meat. We already know what that's about. Meat production. It's pretty horrible impact on the environment, to be honest. We live in a world that's so like interconnected. Like, no decision that you make in your personal life is isolated, I guess. I think I probably make a lot of choices environmentally that like I need to reflect on and figure out, like, is this, you know, negatively or positively contributing to my community and my environment? And if it's negatively, like, I should probably, change some of my choices. So I'm not trying to act all holier than thou with AI, but I do think there are a lot of negative environmental impacts that if we have to give up AI to mitigate those things, then I think we should. The last thing I wanted to say regarding AI is that I feel like it really is destroying community in a crazy way. This is like something new to me, but people really use ChatGPT as like a friend, and I find that really upsetting and concerning, because I'm like, no, like, go to your friends, go to your family. Like, I don't judge people for it. I just, honestly, it just makes me sad, because I'm like, I have to draw the conclusion that if you're using ChatGPT as a friend or as a therapist or whatever, it's because you don't feel like you have access to those things in your real life, or you don't have the type of access that you need. And I find that really sad too. And I think that that is going to destroy community in a crazy way, because I think if you're having problems, like, you're having a human problem, but you're going to a robot for it. And I don't think that makes sense. I think if you have a human problem, you should go to a human about it, because they can give you more relatable advice. I know a lot of people definitely say like that ChatGPT low key like sounds like a human to me. Like, and I've definitely heard that from a lot of people, or like I see people talk about it on social media and stuff. That like it feels like a friend, but that's because we keep teaching it to talk like a human and to talk like a friend. It's not because it innately like has any sense of human nature. It's because we are teaching it how to joke, how to be sarcastic, how to be ironic. Like, it is taking that from human. It is not from computer. You know what I mean? People are tricking themselves into thinking that ChatGPT is like a friend and a human and relatable when it's just like a fake version of a person that you could just like talk to a person in real life. I think in this specific situation, there were a lot of missteps that happened before this tragedy, but there was that kid who ended up committing suicide because he like got so attached to a character based gaming chatbot. He got so obsessed with this character, and like, again, I think a lot of things were missed with that young kid, but it's still heartbreaking to me that like there was some sort of connection that this kid was getting from this chatbot, and like at the end of the day that chatbot did not help him the way a human theoretically could. Again, I think humans make a lot of mistakes too, so I'm not saying like a human would have been perfect. I mean, he's had humans in his life, and like a lot of things clearly got missed. Obviously, if all the boxes were checked in his real life, I don't think he'd be resorting to like a gaming AI chatbot as a resource for human connection. But I do think I'm pro human, I'm pro community. I think we need to not rely on technology to take the place of one another. And also, like, a B point of that, I think also AI is really robbing creativity. And I think every artist of anything should hate AI for that reason alone, because AI literally like rips off of artists. Like I said, it learns from humans, it learns from the internet. Every time you ask ChatGPT to like make a cartoon of me in this style or make a song, like make SpongeBob sing this, stuff like that, which granted, I've laughed at the SpongeBob AI songs sometimes too. I like some of the Gaga songs. No, I've laughed at some of those songs too. I get that it could be funny. It's fun to see yourself drawn in the style of Snoopy or whatever. I don't know. But is it worth it? Is it worth stealing other people's art? For me, no. Go find an artist that you like how they draw and ask them to make a cartoon of you. Commission them. Pay people for their art. You're giving this chatbot ideas and they're creating an output, but it's stealing output from other people and it's giving you a subpar product. Why are we doing that? I think it's silly. Overall, I'm still anti AI. I still think, oh, put it down, put it down. But I definitely don't think that AI is like the only problem we have in the world right now. It's just something that's on my mind a lot because of how sensationalized it is, I guess. But I do think if you're using AI, especially extremely consistently, think about it. Read about it. Think about if it's actually something you need. And if it's not, maybe take a break. Take a break. Put ChatGPT down and go talk to real life people. Go do your work with your own brain. That's my statement. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. We're at about 2 hours or getting up to 2 hours of me talking. God help me when I go to edit this tomorrow. Let's do media of the week. Book update. I'm still reading The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I read a little bit today in the nail salon. I definitely think it's going to be a bit of a slower book. Like, people always say that, but as I'm reading it, I can't help but confirm the suspicions. But I really want to give it a try because people say that, like, once you finish it, it's so good. And I want to know, like, I don't want to be left out. So right now where I am, there's a lot of like timeline jumping, I would say, like lots of flashbacks to when she was a kid and now that she's an adult. Well, she's more than an adult really, but I really want them to get to the part where they explain, okay, this is like spoilers, I guess, for The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, but it's not really a spoiler. Like, this is the premise of the book, but if you don't want to know anything about it, then skip over this. Basically, in the book, she made some sort of deal with the gods to be young forever because right now she's like, I think she's in her 20s and she's been in her 20s for like hundreds of years. So basically, she made some deal to be young forever, but the catch is that everyone she meets forgets her, which is what the like her life is invisible thing. Whatever. I just want to get to the part where like you see how that scene goes down and like what the deal was and how it happened and what drew like brought her to that point. I'm interested. But yeah, I'm gonna keep reading. Might try to read a little bit tonight before I go to bed. But yeah, that's where I am with my book update. My song slash movie slash TV media. I have two songs for you guys today. My one song is Back in My Body by Maggie Rogers. If you know me, you know I love Maggie Rogers. I've seen her multiple times in concert. Well, I get like twice. But she's amazing. I really love her music. She makes me feel very like indie, and I really love that. I also think she's a great live performer. She's that girl in the Pharrell video. Like, I feel like a bunch of people have seen that. The Pharrell video where he's like reacting to one of her songs and he's like, wow, that's such an amazing song. Yada yada yada. That white girl in the video, that's Maggie Rogers. I really love her music. Love her. Yeah, listen to Back in My Body. One Christian song, Found by Zach Webb. They were playing that song on the bus a lot in Peru, like the students were. And I'd never heard that song before, but it's so sweet and it's so soft. And I think like once the leaves start to fall, ooh, I will be listening to it a lot and I'll probably be crying. So yay, excited for that. Do I have a TV or movie for you guys? I feel like I watched something recently. Oh my gosh. Okay. I watched my Oxford year. Oh, okay. A recommendation I would say is The Summer I Turned Pretty, low key. Obviously that's not a niche recommendation, but I rewatched it recently and I'm like I started rewatching The Summer I Turned Pretty from season 1, and I don't know. I feel like when I first watched The Summer I Turned Pretty, I was really locked in during season 1, and then I only got like halfway through season 2, and then I stopped watching, and I am just now like picking it back up again because everybody's talking about season 3, and of course, you know me, I can't be left out of anything in the culture, so I'm like, what they talking about? So I started it over again from season 1, and then I finished season 2, and then I just finished catching up in season 3. Um, but yeah, it's looking a good show. Like it's very corny and sometimes the acting is cringe, but also sometimes it's like there are moments where I'm like, that was real good. That was real good. So that's my recommendation. I also watched My Oxford Year with Corey Milcrease and Sophia Carson. And like it wasn't really a good movie, to be honest. I think I don't but I feel bad saying this because it feels like bullying. I just don't think Sophia Carson's a great actress currently at this moment in time, currently at this point in time. She could be. Like I think you can be whatever you want to be. And I think she could be a good actress for sure, but I just don't believe her. Like I just didn't believe her and I felt like she did not give. Where Loki told the story through her perspective. So whoever plays that role, that like leading lady role, like it has to be believable. I just like I just couldn't fully get all the way in there. I also felt like it was kind of a little too long of a movie, even though minutes wise it wasn't. Like it was totally average. I think it was like an hour and a half, which is average for a movie. I don't know much about movies, but something didn't feel right. Like I was just like, we're still watching, like it's still going on. I will say the montage at the end got me for sure. I definitely teared up, but overall, I think I gave it a 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Watch it if you want to. Actually, I think everyone should watch it. I think everyone should watch it because it's kind of bad. And I think we should all be like a part of that. But I wouldn't recommend it because it's like the best movie I've ever seen. You know what I mean? Anywhoomst, that's it. Media of the week, done. Rant, done. Main topics, done. Everything done. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. Thanks for listening to me yap. I don't know how long this episode's gonna end up being, but probably a little bit longer than some of the others because I was talking for so long. I don't know. We'll see. But in any case, thanks for listening to me yap. Um, Your time is much appreciated. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys in the next one. And yeah.